0505 is our overall conclusions working paper, and this working paper serves as a very comprehensive compliance checklist, as well as including a process for you to actually decide under which paragraph you are going to issue your review conclusion. Now, it takes you through various paragraphs of ISRE 2400, and you will see we reference all of those paragraphs, look at the conclusion that's been made in some of these, we gather information from all of these, and most of them we just give you the opportunity to say, has any additional information come to light which requires further discussions or comments? If we say yes, document that information. If no, we move on and we're happy, for instance in this case with firm's independence. Individual team member independence declaration, have a look what's popping up here. There are problems with this document. I haven't signed it off and I haven't answered all the questions, so it's sitting with a big no, it's not properly signed off. I need to go and fix that before this is cleared and that I can continue with conclusions. Again, any additional information. I'm just going to scroll through quickly on these items. Most of these, if there's something coming from the relevant working paper, it'll pop up. If not, then there's a question here, for instance, paragraph 26. That's also one of these additional working papers. Okay. Are there any indications that paragraph 26 may be applicable? And this is relevant considerations after an engagement acceptance. So something comes up which makes you doubt whether you should have accepted the client. If you say yes at this point, it says please use paragraph 26's document to complete this. If no, we can just move on with the engagement. Where I want to get to on this working paper specifically comes down to my review programs. Okay, now I've not completed this file completely yet. You'll see that only my fixed asset and investment property cycle review program is properly signed off. All of these should have a yes. We have conclusions here for non-material items, non-material components, and remember in 12.15 we said that depreciation was not material, and therefore we signed it off in 12.15 saying we have sufficient evidence to sign off on this document. Alright, then we go through on a component by component basis. If we have obtained sufficient appropriate evidence, and that's based on the conclusion on our review programs, whether there is a likelihood that this component there's some sort of material misstatement, and then we also bring through any unadjusted misstatements to go and consider if this is a material misstatement. So we're concluding a whole lot of fantastic information from your review programs, and then we document an overall conclusion, just not yet our final report conclusion, but just information, impact on our report. What is this telling us about the engagement? Now obviously there's a whole lot incomplete. Once you've completed everything, this information will be properly documented. Alright, here is just a quick reference. Have a look. We opened up that related parties working paper, so it's already telling me that I've documented something here, and document additional details if you feel there is anything. Significant transactions outside of the normal course of business, that's a separate working paper. Anything documented, no, we can move on. I'm just going to scroll down again. These are just pulling in from separate working papers. Where we get to some of these questions, I'm just going to scroll a little bit ahead. We're talking about accounting policies, ISRE 2400, paragraph 69B III. Have a look. That is one of those conclusions that is on your review program. It pulls through the conclusion on a program by program basis to confirm that you've complied with all the relevant requirements. Just scrolling up, forming the practitioner's conclusion, that is paragraph 69, 71 and 72, you'll see that there are questions about the financial statements adequately referring to or describing the applicable reporting framework. Now that could simply just be that the financial state that they comply with IFRS for SME. Sometimes it can be more complex than that, and then you would need to go and document additional information. Scrolling down further, we have a look at uncorrected misstatements now in aggregate as well. Further up here, we looked at it at a component level. Now we also go and consider it in aggregate, and we decide what impact this will have on our conclusions. And these conclusions are actually pulling in from our working paper 0210. Then we get to a fantastic section of this working paper where we need to decide, okay, do we have an unmodified, a qualified, an adverse, or a disclaimer conclusion that we need to issue? And this questionnaire will take you through it. So firstly, have we obtained sufficient evidence to obtain this limited assurance and say that nothing comes to our attention to believe that the financial statements are not prepared in all material respects in accordance with the applicable financial reporting framework? Now in this case, I can't say yes to this because I have a few issues. So then we say, well, okay, have you determined that the financial statements are materially misstated? If I say yes to that, it asks me another question. Well, is the impact pervasive or not to the financial statements? If I say yes, then the wording comes to me from ISRE 2400, paragraph 78, my qualified conclusion, and I have to go and include a basis for conclusion paragraph in terms of ISRE 2400, paragraph 80. If I say it's not pervasive, it's not paragraph 78 that I conclude on, it's actually paragraph 79, and I still need to include a basis of conclusion. So depending on how you have answered these questions, can you see that different sections of the possible report are opening and closing, and it takes you to the correct paragraph on which you need to conclude. It then gives you an opportunity to just go and give yourself some rough wording or detailed wording of exactly how you're going to phrase it in your report. And then at the end of the day, we've got a checklist of everything that has got to be included in your practitioner's report. So it's got to have a title. Now if you are using our template, this should be hopefully a very quick exercise for you to check, but this is the requirements in terms of ISRE 2400 of what needs to be on your conclusion.